Thank you for the torque. Hallelujah, we got torque. All right, guys, here it is. Finally, the 2024 Toyota Tacoma TRD off-road short bed, double cab, in the flesh, fresh off the truck. Just got it yesterday, and man, I am loving it so far. This is the underground color, which is new for the Tacoma. And man, I gotta say, it looks so good. So taking a look at the front here, you have your fog lights down here. There is camera right here. And you have your headlights here with Tacoma imprinted there, which is really cool. So in the front here as well, the TRD off-road does not come with that ugly air dam, which is something I was gonna take off anyway because I think it looks ridiculous, and what I've seen is it doesn't really add much MPG. These are the new TRD off-road wheels. So I like that they've blackened these this year. There's still a little bit of kind of brushed aluminum on the outside here. I think most people would probably prefer all black, but they're gonna keep that exclusive to the Trd-pro. The tire size on these are 265/70 R17s, which is like 31.6 inches tall. So it's not quite a 32. I suspect most people are gonna put 33s on here. I think that's probably my end goal, is to put some 33s on here. I think that looks the best in my opinion. But taking a look at the suspension, the suspension's all different. We now have a multi-link suspension with coilovers. We have Bilstein shocks with piggyback reservoirs. So right out the gate, guys, this is coming pretty well equipped. I'm keeping my 2018 Tacoma to do a lot of comparison videos. So I'm gonna let you know if this truck is actually worth it. And so far, I mean, everything has been completely redesigned. There isn't a single thing that isn't upgraded. Maybe there's one or two things I might find, but so far, it's been a huge improvement. So taking a look at the rear, here's the Bilstein shocks, piggyback reservoir there. And then we have the multi-link suspension down here. So this thing's gonna be a way smoother ride, more capable off-road. Taking a look at the tailgate, this has the premium package. So I have the button here to release the tailgate. There's another button on the other side as well. You can also just bump it here like this, and then it will go up that way. And then on the key fob as well, you have a button here. You can just hold and press and it will release as well. So you got like 4 different ways to shut and open your tailgate. Little unnecessary, but hey, it's convenient. Okay, also in the rear back here, you now have your tailpipe down here, and it hangs pretty low, and it's pretty massive, much bigger than the 3rd gen. Then here you have a high lift jack point right here on this side and on the other side, which is really cool. So if you're out off-roading and you're in a predicament, you can just hook up there, jack it up real easy. For towing, you got your 7-pin and 4-pin connectors here as usual. The receiver here looks a little bit different than the 3rd gens, but I like that they've tucked these up under here. So I think that's gonna be nice. Okay, now taking a look at the bed, Toyota says they got 7% more volume out of this than the 3rd gen. So I'm gonna do some measurements though, because I still have my Tacoma, my 3rd gen, and I'm gonna do some comparisons. I'm gonna do some measuring to see what the dimensions actually are. But it's a very similar story back here as a 3rd gen. You now have your outlet up here versus in the 3rd gen, I think it was down here. So this is the same watt, 400 watt. Now this is something new over here, which is really cool. You now have a new cubby here, but you also get a 12 volt kind of outlet here. And also you get USB outlets as well, right here and here, which is really cool. So something else that's different, at least compared to my 2018 third gen Tacoma, is the rail system here. Mine didn't have this one here, so I'm glad to see that that's here. So I'm gonna put my dirt bike back here, and that's gonna be really helpful to have a points over here. So I'm glad to see that they did that. So taking a look at the roof, you got your fin here. And now here, something nice that they've integrated is the ability to put a roof rack on very easily. So you would just pop these off and you would have the mounting points here. So that's really cool. One thing I will say is I'm not a fan of, as if you can see, right here, it looks unfinished. The metal is kind of wrinkling. So I wish they would have continue to put the plastic, all the way back, kind of like they did with the third gen. So here you have some cameras back here as well, so you can check the bed out. And also I believe one is for the rear view mirror. So coming around to the side here, the handles are not color matched, at least on the TRD off-road like they were on my third gen Tacoma. So this is more of like a plastic feel. They're definitely thicker than in my third gen. So I actually kind of wish they were the color matched. I think I prefer that look. It looks a little cleaner. Something cool though is that they've done now is that you can lock and unlock from the passenger side now, versus on the third gen it was only on the driver's side. So it's nice to see that they included that over here. Taking a look under the hood, this is a 4-cylinder turbo making 278 horsepower and 317 foot-pounds of torque. So it makes the same amount of horsepower but a lot more torque with the turbo. And really guys, if I had to nitpick about something, it would be the way that this engine bay looks. I mean, it's like a rat nest of wires in here. I would have loved to see, I don't know, just something more pleasant to look at. I know engine covers are just kind of really covering all this, but I mean, they do it and it looks way better. So not a big deal, but it just would have been nice to maybe have this look a little bit better. Okay, so here is a look at the third gen key fob, and here's a look at the new one. It's slightly bigger. So you have 4 buttons on here: lock, unlock, hold for the tailgate, and then your alarm there. So this one has remote start. So it's kind of slow. It's not the greatest. So you click it 3 times, and on the third you hold it down. So I like on other manufacturers, it's basically like a double click on one thing and then it starts right away. So Toyota, you still have a little bit of work on that, but the best thing that you have improved is now when you go to open it, it doesn't shut off. It's so awesome. I love that. All right, guys, we're hopping in the interior now. I did want to mention this is the TRD Premium Off-Road, and it has every feature you can get with the exception of one, which is the stabilizer bar disconnect. So the reason I didn't get that one is because Toyota's having a part shortage, and for me to get the premium package and the stabilizer disconnect bar thing, it would have taken like forever. And so I didn't want to wait that long. But I did want to at least get the premium package so I can show you guys all the features, which I intend to do, and doing a bunch of videos on it, and also comparing it to my 2018 third gen Tacoma. So if you guys have anything that you want to see in comparison, let me know, because I have both trucks at my disposal. So I have things in mind already, like I'm going to compare the back seat space. I'm actually going to get a tape measure out and measure the space, because I have a suspicion that the back seat back here is actually smaller, but we'll find out when I have time to record that video. But with that in mind, let's get into some of the features. All right, so taking a look at the center console, you have this nice storage compartment here. This is wider than my 3rd gen, so it's nice that if you have a passenger here, they can also put their arm there. I felt like in the 3rd gen, our arms were bumping. So this is a really soft, well, not really soft. It's harder, but it's a softer place to put your arm. So that's nice. We have 2 cup holders here. You also still get the 2 in the back. Up here, you have some buttons here. So keep in mind, this is the TRD off-road with the premium package. So some of you might not have all of these buttons. And the only one I'm missing here, like I said, is the stabilizer disconnect bar, which would be here. So this is the locking differential. So that's going to be really good for traction off-road. This is the view button. So if you push this, it's going to bring up your view here, and I think you can customize that as well to show what you want it to show. So if you're off-road, you can have the front cameras, side cameras, all different kind of camera options, which is really cool. And then this one here is, I believe, when you're towing a trailer, there's an optional accessory camera that you can put on either the truck or the trailer, which will allow you to see through the trailer, I believe is what this is for. So I'm yet to test that one out, but I definitely will. So here we have our drive mode selectors here. So first thing is you can actually just spin this right now, and if you spin it, it's going to change here. So you have 3 different modes. You got sport, normal, and eco. So that's really cool. So you can just turn those on the fly. Nothing that you need to do special there. I like the different graphics. I think that's cool. You have tow haul mode, which was awesome. I'm so glad Toyota is taking towing seriously with the Tacoma, and they've given us a ton of features now to be able to tow properly. And one of those is a tow haul mode. So now if you push it, it'll put you into normal mode, and it says tow haul mode. And in here you can save different trailers. So it'll ask you to put in information about the trailer, and you can save them as a profile in here. So obviously I don't have any yet, but that's where you would do that and get that set up. So now we have multi-terrain select. Now to do that, you have to be in 4 high to do that, or 4 low. And to do that, there's a button on the side here. You turn that and move that, and that's going to put us into 4 high here. Okay, so I had to put it into drive to get it into 4 high. You can see on the dash here, now it says 4 high. And then if we come back down here, we can select multi-terrain select. And now it's going to put us into these different drive modes. We can do auto, dirt, sand, mud, and deep snow. And then the last one is the crawl control. So this is going to be like off-road cruise control. The 3rd gen had this as well. And to do this, you have to be in 4 low. So again, you would turn it to 4 low, and you have to be in neutral for it to gauge in 4 low. And now you can see here up on the dash, it says 4 low there. Okay, and then you got to put it in drive, and now we can do crawl. Gives you this cool graphic here. And then off to the right, you can see that you can control the speed. So if I click it up, it also corresponds over here, and we'll drive the truck. So this is a huge improvement over the 3rd gen, because the 3rd gen would use the ABS and it sounded terrible. There is virtually no sound coming from this, which is really cool. Okay, now if you want to get out of 4 low, you turn this to 4 high, put it in neutral. Now it says here, crawl deactivated, we're in 4 high. And then to get back to 2 high, you turn it there, put it in drive, and there it goes. It's already out. So I'm noticing already with this that my 3rd gen, it took a little bit. You had to move forward a little bit. You could hear it engaging. It was kind of make a clunking sound. With this, it's not. It's like almost instantaneous that it's going into 4 high or 4 low, which is a huge improvement over the 3rd gen. Okay, moving up top here, this is the brake hold button, which is really cool. I didn't even know they were going to include this. So if you press it, you're going to see this button, or you're going to see this light pop up here that says hold. And what this does is, if you're at a stoplight, for example, it will hold the brake for you. So let's see. Let's just go forward a little bit and show you what I mean. So if you're driving, you come to a stoplight, you press on the brake, you come to a stop, and then all you got to do is just leave your foot off the brake. You can take your foot off, which is really cool. So you can see now there's like an orange hold button there. That means the truck is holding. So this is super convenient in like stop and go traffic. You know, you're just at a light, you want to take your foot off the brake, give it a rest. It's really cool. Love that feature. So the only downside is you have to turn it on every time you get in the truck. So I wish it was like you turned it on and it just stayed on every time. And if you wanted to turn it off, you could do it here too. But so this is the electronic park brake. To use it, you would just press it down. However, I think it's very unnecessary because the guy at the dealership told me that it automatically engages when you go into park. So you can actually hear it too and feel it in the brake pedal when you go into park. I don't know if you could hear that, but you can definitely hear it and feel it in the brake pedal. It automatically engages the park brake. So if you wanted to use it, you can see down here, it already says park, and I put it in park. And to use it, you would just press it here and it would go away. So I don't know why you would want to be in park and then disengage this. If it's doing it automatically, you might as well just leave it, but you have the option. All right, moving on to some of the controls up here. These knobs are really awesome. They're huge. They have this grip on the outside. They look like gears, very much, you know, truck-like, chunky. Everything in here just feels bigger, beefier, just more truck-like, more full-size truck feeling. So here you have these really cool aluminum switches here. This one is for the air conditioning, on or off. You have your different modes here. This is to recirculate the air, cabin air. This is the fan speed here. You have front defrost. Now you have rear defrost, which is good, and then AC. Here we have heated seats, and we also have cooled seats. These are new, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about them. They work great. However, well, I guess I shouldn't say however. One thing I didn't realize is this, there's like it almost sounds like the fan is right here. So if you have the radio off and you have the ventilated seats on, you get this wind noise that sounds like it's coming from right here, like right behind your head. So that's my only complaint with that. I actually don't know how that compares to other manufacturers, but that's just something that I noticed. This one has dual climate control here, so I can set the climate here, and passenger can set their own over here if they want, or you can sync them together. You got your heated steering wheel over here on this side. You got your hazard lights over here. And then something that's really nice is this guy hiding behind the wheel here. This is an integrated trailer brake controller. So like I said, I'm so glad Toyota is finally taking towing seriously with the Tacoma. So this is another awesome feature that's going to be great for towing. Okay, we have this huge display screen, which is awesome, guys. I feel like I'm in my living room. These seats are so much more comfortable. I'm sitting upright. I have a giant screen here, It's just so much of a more pleasant place to be. I'm not going to go into a lot about the screen here. If you have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, it's going to work very similar. On the left here, we have the Toyota system here, so you can actually quickly get to the Toyota settings here, and then you have your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto over here. So quickly taking a look at some of the screen displays on here, you can customize these a lot. So on the gauges here, I have the boost gauge on the left over here. I got my MPG on the right, and you can actually toggle through these with this button here and change these up. So you have 3 different pages you can choose from and customize, which is really, really cool. So you could have like an off-road one. If you're going off-road, you want to see certain off-road features, you can do that. If you just want to see some of your cooling temps for towing, and then kind of like everyday driving as a potential pages. So I really like that they did that. You can also customize the gauges here. There's different settings like tough, sport. I won't get into those. A lot of guys have got into that. But there's a ton of buttons on here, way more than the 3rd gen. Everything's pretty much self-explanatory. So this is going to be your volume control for your infotainment center. These buttons here are going to control the screen up here. You have your call buttons, your voice activation here. You have your different modes, so AM, FM, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto here. You have some more directional buttons here. Really, these buttons here are going to be for cruise control. So we have the adaptive cruise control, which you can turn on here. And what that's going to do is it's going to speed up or slow down based on the car in front of you. And then you can also turn on the lane centering as well, so it'll keep you in the lane. And then you can also do just normal cruise control here. And then you can also set the distance that you want to follow the car in front of you here, which is similar to what the 3rd gen had. So that's just a rough overview of kind of the buttons in here, guys. Oh, I didn't mention this. We have a wireless charging pad here. I've noticed it's way better than the 3rd gen one. We have some USB-C ports here. You also get a cigarette 12-volt here, which is going to be nice because I think I'm going to put a USB charger in here. There's a little bit of a cubby space right here to put some things, which is nice. Got your grab handle here. It's solid, feels solid. You got your glove box here. There's some storage up here. Oh, and you can't forget the JBL speaker here. So this is the removable JBL speaker. Haven't tried it out yet, but I'll get to that soon. Okay, taking a look up top, we have lights for the doors here. We have an SOS button here. We got our open and close, up and down for the sunroof. And then this is to open the rear window in the back right there. You got your lights here. And then a sunglass holder here, which is super nice because I missed that on the 3rd gen off-road. Didn't have that. The off-road cruise control was right here taking up this space, so I never had that. Something new as well is this digital rear view camera. So this is digital, so you can switch between a normal rear view mirror and then go back to the camera here. So it's taking me a little bit to get used to. Honestly, I don't know if I like it. It takes me a moment to switch my eyes to focus on it. So I don't know if it's just something I'm gonna have to adjust to or if it's something that I'm not really gonna like. But you have the option to go back to a normal camera, which is great. Here's a look at the sun visor. We get a mirror with a light on it, which is great. Let's see if this thing telescopes. Oh yeah, it does telescope. So something that I'm noticing right now is that it's kind of rubbing. It's really kind of hard to pull it over. There's a lot of resistance. You can see it's touching right up in here. So that's kind of annoying, not a big deal, but I wish it was a little smoother. All right, hopping in the back seat. This is the way the door panel looks. I like the TRD right here. I think that looks good. Got some more Molly panels down here. And in the back seat now, these flip up this way versus in the 3rd gen, it flipped up the other way. So you got some storage down there, but I like that these flip up. I'm noticing I'm using that a lot more. The one thing I don't like is, I mean, this is the handle to pull it up, but it just looks kind of cheap. So I wish that was kind of different. Not a big deal, just a small complaint. Hopping in the back seat. So my seat is where I'm comfortable at here, and I got plenty of room. I'm about 5'9", so I got plenty of room back here. This seat is pushed all the way back, so you can see not a ton of room here. So I'm actually going to do a comparison though from my 3rd gen to this and see how much leg room did we gain or did we lose. So stay tuned for that. In the back here we have an outlet, which is awesome. You got the kids want to charge something, and then 2 USB-Cs here, so that's really nice. The only thing they could have done back here was to have air vents back here as well for the kids or whoever you got back here. Up in the center here you have your light here. You also get a speaker here, which is nice, so if you have somebody back here, they can also talk and hear on the phone. Okay, now taking a look at the back here, this is where the subwoofer is going to be located now. So you have that there. There's potentially a little bit of storage room back there, not a lot. Looks like the jack is back there for your spare tire, but that's how you access that. You have your car seat hooks here, which are way more accessible than it was in the 3rd gen. You had to like fish your hand in there and like really kind of fish for it, but you can see them very clearly here, which is nice. And guys, these seats are just so much more comfortable. They're way softer, way more plush, so it's just a better place to sit. All right, now let's drive this thing. I'm gonna give you some of my first impressions. I only have about 78 miles on this thing. Like I said, I just picked it up on Friday. It is Sunday today. I got 78 miles on it. So my feet are wet. Got a little taste of it, but I just want to be able to show you some of my first impressions, what I think about it, and let you guys kind of get a feel for what you can expect. So like I mentioned before, there's 3 different drive modes, and I'm gonna go into sport mode because that sounds like a lot of fun. So you already probably know this is an 8-speed transmission. The biggest issue with the 3rd gen was the transmission. There was a lot of gear hunting, and luckily there's some tunes out there that you can get that fix that, but I'm noticing right off the bat there is no gear hunting or anything like that. So the transmission feels really good, feels like it's in the right gear. And man, the biggest thing that I'm noticing is the torque. Thank you for the torque. Hallelujah, we got torque. The 3rd gen had very little torque, and it was like at 4,500 RPMs when it made max torque. This makes peak torque at 1,500 RPMs, and you can feel it. I'm going to turn onto this road here. I can pick up speed. I'm going to put my foot down a little bit here and just show you. Oh yeah. It even sounds good. I don't know if they're pumping fake noises through the speakers or whatnot, But this 4-cylinder sounds really good. Oh man, the seating position, wow, like I am just in a different world here. I'm upright. I feel like I'm in a full-size truck. The seats are so much more comfortable. Man, they just really knocked it out of the park on the seating position, and I just feel like I'm in a bigger truck. Like the hood, even though it's a little bit taller, I feel like I can see over it a little bit better, which is awesome. This is going to be dangerous. This thing is way more fun to drive than my 3rd gen. Yeah, this could be dangerous. Just having a ton of fun in here, guys. Holy cow. I mean, it's a rainy day today, unfortunately, but I'm having a blast. This thing gets up to speed so much faster, guys. I barely put my foot on the gas and I was just gone. This thing is gonna tow so much better over the 3rd gen. I'm so excited to get this thing towing. The low end torque is just, it's on it, guys. It sounds good. Like I said, I don't know if they're pumping fake noise in here. They probably are, but I don't know. It just still gives me the warms and fuzzy feelings. And I was really worried about the 4-cylinder. I wasn't sure, is it gonna sound like a Corolla? Is it gonna really make me feel like I'm in a truck? And it does. It's more trucky feeling than my 3rd gen. And I know that's probably gonna piss off a lot of the V6 lovers out there. Don't get me wrong, I love my 3rd gen. I'm keeping it. It's a great truck, but this is a huge improvement, guys. And I'll get into what I paid for it a little bit later. And I know it's really expensive. I paid a lot of money for this truck, but it is a huge improvement. I mean, there isn't one thing that isn't upgraded, that isn't a new feature in this truck. So yes, you're gonna pay a lot for it, but you're gonna get a lot. And Toyotas hold their value so well, guys. I bought my 3rd gen for $40,000 in 2018, and I can probably sell it right now for $35,000. So, I mean, in 6 years, I lost $5,000 in depreciation. There is no other car or vehicle out there that is going to be able to do that. And that's partly why I can feel like I can justify paying so much money for a truck like this. So there you have it, guys. It's a little bit of my first impressions, my driving experience. So far, I'm loving it. Who knows? There could be issues down the road, little quirks and things that I don't like, but I'm loving it so far. The torque is great. The power's there. Transmission feels really good. So now let's jump into the price. Okay, so here is the window sticker, guys, and the only 2 options that it came with are the premium package and the mud guards. And if it were up to me, I would have just gotten rid of the mud guards because I'm going to take them off anyway. And the total price is $53,255, guys. That's really spendy. So the upgrade package has pretty much everything. Like I said, the only option that you could have got with this was the stabilizer disconnect bar, and that would have been an additional $1,300. But the premium off-road package is $8,800, includes everything. And so there wasn't a lot of additional things that I wanted. There's just accessories and things that they try to include, and I really didn't want any of those. So I got exactly what I wanted. And you can see $53,255, which is a lot. So it came from Mexico. So I'm told that anything with 3 TM is like a Mexico one, but I don't know that for sure. So MPG on this is supposed to be 21 combined, 19 city, 23 highway. We will see what I get. So like I said, I only have about 78 miles on this. I'm getting like 15 miles to the gallon right now, but I need to break it in a little bit more, and I've been heavy footed because it's just been so fun to drive. Out the door with tax, title, license, and I added additional 508 in accessories like all-weather floor mats. They're gonna tint the windows for me, and one other thing I can't remember, but it was an additional 500 on top of that. So out the door, I was 58,275, guys. So that is really spendy, I know. But like I said, they hold their value so well. This thing is fully loaded, and we'll just see. Time will tell. So there you have it, guys. Drop me a comment, a like, a subscribe. Let me know if there's anything you want to see, any feature I didn't cover. I know there's a lot to take in. I probably missed something, but let me know in the comments. I read pretty much every one of them. And I'm also keeping my 3rd gen so that I can do a lot of comparison videos. So let me know, guys, if you want to see something, do a comparison somehow, let me know. I have both of these trucks at my disposal. So that's my intent, is to show you guys, make good content for you. So please consider like and subscribing, and we'll catch you in the next video.